Cycling tour taking place now in its second lap in Bolova. Time for us to open debate here on our platform, and the first topic on discussion is Teachers' Day. Remember, tomorrow, October 5, has been set aside by the international community to look into the plight of teachers. And this year's theme is the teachers we need for the education we want. Global imperative to address the teachers' shortage. Now on Twilight, we have two personalities from those circles. Let's start with the lady. She is Gladys Chebi, who is principal of Oasis, a college in Yaoundé. Welcome and thanks for joining us on the site.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be on the platform this evening. Good evening, viewers. We are talking Teachers' Day. It's surely going to be very interesting. Yeah,
it should be. And on my right, we have Nalyonge Maximilianus Ewoko.
Yes.
Exactly, and you are a teacher and principal of Pinnacle of Success Academy, Yaoundé.
Exactly. Thank you very much, and good evening to you, Mr. Asho, and good evening to our televiewers who are constantly glued to Twilight.
All right, so tomorrow the spotlight will be on teachers. It's a day that has annually been set aside to look into your concerns, and it's no better time to look at those concerns. You know, there have been much talk lately about the plight of teachers and how well the government is strategizing on how to satisfy them. But now we also have one concern. We are living in a digital age, and the call from every quarter is for the youth to be more digitally oriented. But now we live to forget that this youth need to get orientation from their teachers, who you are, and these teachers equally have to be within trend of time. So they also have to have those ICT skills so to accompany these children fully. Now we are going to kick off from there, looking at how set are some of the institutions you run in light with accompanying these learners with ICT skills. I'll start with you, Maximilianus.
Yes, thank you very much. And as we commemorate the Teachers' Day come tomorrow, 5th October, as usual, which is wherein the historicism is even something maybe we need to talk about.
Exactly.
It is of utmost importance in the 21st century, in the era of digitalization, what we generally call the Android generation, wherein it has come to stay, and there is no way we can do without this reality. So reason why we applaud the efforts, the means, the measures put in place by the government, especially the Ministry of Secondary Education, to digitalize education in the 21st century. And most schools have been embracing this idea, this conception wholeheartedly, most especially my institution, which I head, whereby we realize that it is an imperative we cannot do without. And it is a reality that the students, the learners live. They live with it, they sleep with it, they get up with it, and they dine with digitalization or Androidicity. So why don't we integrate it in our educational system? Reason why we realize that there is this paradigm shift in education in terms of teaching methodology. And we talk about the teaching methodology, it equally entails that everything surrounding even security and creating a conducive learning environment needs to go in line with this digital education. Reason why, following the distance learning instituted by the Ministry of Secondary Education, so many learners found comfort, and even the teachers who are open to changes. Yes, they've found comfort in doing that. But those who are still adamant to the changes, well, it is time for us to tell them that there is no turning back. They have to adapt themselves to it, because it is good when we are being trained, and it is good when we go through capacity building workshops, which is something we are trying to institute in our schools to make sure that in the multimedia center of our school, learners have the opportunity to have projected lessons, video lessons, or even lessons that can entice them and take them out of their comfort zone.
All right, let me turn to Gladys Chebi. You just heard your colleague of the other side. He said it is indispensable to have digitally oriented teachers today. Are you within frame of this in your institution? And if not, are there measures in line to empower teachers so they match up the expected outcome they want to see in children?
All right, once more, good evening. I want to say the digitalization of education is not a debate. It shouldn't be a debate. It's something that all the stakeholders should jump into it. It's true that we've noticed some certain reluctances in the part of the teachers and other stakeholders.
Okay.
You know, human beings are sometimes very resistive to change. And so most people that were not drilled or were not trained in that system, you will need a lot of time to convince them that it is very important and it is never too late to start. Because there are some people, some colleagues, some teachers who cannot manipulate an ordinary computer.
I have seen
Talk less of making online classes or distance learning. We just want to say that in some school, like my school, we are doing our best. We are offering even free training for teachers during the holidays. Okay. And even at that, some people are still reluctant, even though it's free. They want you to pay them to come and be trained to do that. So it's just a mindset. The mindset is not yet drilled to see the importance. Okay. The future of education in Cameroon, in Africa, is digitalization. All right. When I was talking to a colleague in Kumba, since they delayed their resumption there, I said, how do you cope since the number of months or the time for the educational year is reduced? I said, no, madam. For the past 2 weeks, we were in the house through, but we're working on distance learning. Okay. We're sending notes through the phones of the parents and all that. And I begin to see the importance more and more. Okay. It's true that with the level of technology or with the availability of certain resources is really a call for concern. But I believe my minister is very bent on it, and the government is putting everything in place so that those shortcomings can be handled, so that it should be really effective. Exactly. And in as much as we want to go with digitalization and also empowering teachers with digital skills so they can also empower their learners, on the other hand, we look at this domain. It is not quite favorable because it is prohibited for students to come on campus with phones, and that has given rise to another form of deviance. I want to also cite here that these deviants have led to some other incidents in school. We remember cases where students, beat up each other. Some even go to the extent of killing. Exactly. Now, when you hear stories like this, I want to turn to Maximilianus. How do you feel as a head of an institution, and does that really make your students more of a demon than those who are eager to learn?
Well, some people think that presently people are tempted to say we are training intellectual demons. Wherein, what do I mean by that? It means we have learners, people who are very, very intelligent and gifted. They have a purpose, but they don't know how to use it. And when the knowledge are being dished out, they turn to negatively implement what they have received. But that, away from that, I think it is that is violence. We're talking about violence.
Exactly, we are into
and when we talk about violence, it is something that every education stakeholder needs to have it as a concern, as a major concern, be it the parents, be it the teachers, be it the school administrators, be it the government. And the reason why the symposium that was organized in Cameroon in 2020 under the auspices of the Ministry of Secondary Education, it was an opportunity to gather a good number of persons. They reflected, came up with resolutions because of the numerous violent cases observed in schools, which led to the death of so many. However, violence is not, we know naturally that every human being is naturally violent, but there are so many factors which permit us to coordinate that. Reason why we say, as education begins at home, normally parents should not relent, because it is in the house that you teach your child how to use positive words. It is in the house that you teach your child not to be violent, how to tolerate, how to accept one another, how to accept people with different backgrounds. Same in school. So we bring that in school, and in my institution, for instance, we are really pressing on inclusive education, wherein we make the learners understand the spirit of Ubuntu, Harambe, Swahili, believing onto one another and holding onto one another. We make them understand, because when we talk about the factors, the typology of violence, we have the self-directed violence, collective violence, and interpersonal violence. In schools, what is mostly practiced, it is the self-directed violence and the interpersonal violence. And this leads now to a good number of deviations, not only violence, but sexual deviations.
Exactly.
Now, students, learners, tend to believe that from what their parents, most often, that is where now we get into the quagmire of teachers. The most parents have not yet identified or noticed that there is a certain language when it comes to teachers which they have to use at home back with the kids, because when they have already termed the teachers, some teachers, to be demons, some teachers they don't know what they are doing, they are beggars, then the child coming to school, the child will have no respect for the teacher. So the most important thing, we have to look into the education of the learners. The reason why I always say, if you want to know how you and I as humans, we are more ferocious, more violent than the irrational animals out there, the dog, the pig, the goat, we want to know how maybe we are more violent than a lion, let us remove more the fear of the Lord and moral education. Then we are going to understand that we humans, we are more ferocious. That is why I always emphasize on the fact that whatever be the case, there is a deviation, there's a misinterpretation to parents when they talk about religious education. Religious education is not all about the Bible, it's not all about the Quran. There is a moral part whereby most schools fail to understand that. Because if we teach learners how the family is being set up, the essence of a home, the essence of love, who do you love? Learners will understand that I should not only be thinking one of the type of loves, which is erotic love, is the last and the most dangerous. Students will learn not to get into the deviations, because when the teachers in school want to show them the path, show them the way, most often these learners, they don't have their parents back at home. Because there is the mad rush for matriculation in Cameroon and a mad rush for money, whereby parents don't have time now with their kids. The reason why we, the teachers in school, we become their parents, we become everything to them. So the emphasis on moral education, the emphasis on civic education, which I think it should be implemented at every level, not only the first cycle, the second cycle, imposed like English, Math, French, and not only the English subsystem of education, but the French subsystem of education. Because if we do that only in the English subsystem of education and the French system doesn't implement that, what happens in the quarter? A child who is well trained in the English subsystem goes to the quarter, meets a friend from the French subsystem, and
corrupted.
Everything goes back to zero.
Exactly. Now, Madam Gladys, after listening to Maximilian, I think he actually went through all what we were supposed to talk now, and we are running out of time. Maybe you tell us, do all these constraints make you want to derail from your profession?
It's true that many people think the teaching vocation or the teaching profession is out of frustration. Yeah, I want to emphasize that I started teaching at the age of 23, and I've been in it for over 10 years.
All right.
Yes. Teaching, no matter how the challenges may come, if you go into a vocation by passion, every challenges you can overcome. We strive to look for solutions to overcome. We don't quit. So I'm not discouraged a bit, because I believe that with the collaboration of all the different stakeholders, we can overcome. And I just want to add to what Mr. Nalyonge was saying about violence in the school milieu. I just want to insist that we are in a generation or an era where majority of the youths are psychologically sick or mentally sick. Because a child that is mentally balanced cannot dare move a gun or a weapon to threaten a teacher or even a fellow student. So when we are tackling this issue of violence, most of the time we tackle the immediate effect what we are seeing. That's why it hasn't been much effective for some time now. I think we need to see the root cause. A lot of those children, they are traumatized, they are suffering from break homes, and they are suffering from other things, maybe neglect and all that. We know that life is becoming very difficult. In those days when we're growing up, the fathers were the ones outside looking for financial means. But it's no longer the case. The mom was there to check, to follow up the children. But now the family, the mother, everybody has to hustle to make ends meet. So it becomes very difficult. The children are left on their own. And at that age, the teenage age, they go through a lot. And when they start seeking for answer, they can't get them. They get them on the wrong places, and it creates a sort of trauma in them, which the outmad, it can be drug, it can lead to violence and other things. So
tomorrow is October 5, and a day we have to advocate for the well-being of our teachers. What will be your message tomorrow? What will be your concern tomorrow? In a few words, we are running out of time.
I just want to insist that teachers can never be paid financially. But at least every teacher, no matter whether in the public or private sector, deserve a better pay package. But then I'm telling teachers that no matter how much you are paid, the services of teacher are not payable. When you do your job, do it diligently, knowing that your reward is divine. Your reward is those children tomorrow that become successful and recognize what you did. Your reward is a transformation of the lives of young Cameroonians. The complaints that we are making today, if we change those children well, we'll not have them tomorrow. So courage to you guys. You people are champions. You are doing a great job. Don't relent. While we hope for a better future for the teachers in Cameroon, let's not relent. Let's continue fighting. So
in a nutshell, the outcome of a community, it's a representation of what the teacher gives to the learners. Maximilian? Yes,
we say the heart of education is the education of the heart. And when we pick this, I always tell my learners or my colleagues that a bank account is richer than a heart account. So, irrespective of what we do, as my colleague said, I would not like to be tautologous over what she has said, but we need to make sure we do our job because we are being called to do it. Irrespective of what happens, the life of these kids are in our hands. Irrespective of the quagmire, the societal quagmire, the conditions we work under, we should hold on to our mission. Because when Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishna, who created this aspect of a Teacher's Day, commemorating his birthday to be observed as a Teacher's Day, he was not stupid because he knew the importance of teachers in the society. We are in a noble profession. Irrespective of what happens, let us hold tight because winners don't quit and winners are not quitters. We are winners and we are there to transform the society.
Obviously, time is against us, and it's a broad topic. We will certainly be coming back to it, especially maybe after the Teachers' Day. I think you'll be well available to honor us with another appointment. So let's take a break. We're done talking Teachers' Day, and now we continue within premise of the academic year. We still have more guests to receive. See you in a while.